Is a former WWE star set to retire, and Kenny Omega has been removed from an AEW event. But first, the AEW World Title Tournament final has been confirmed. Last night on AEW Dynamite in Albany, New York, the semi-final of the AEW Grand Slam Tournament of Champions would take place, with Jon Moxley taking on Sammy Guevara in the opening match, whilst Bryan Danielson would battle Chris Jericho in the main event. The first to advance through to the final would be Jon Moxley, who managed to overcome the interference from Anna Jay and Ty Mello, dropping his opponent with the Death Rider for the 1-2-3. Later in the night, it was Moxley's Blackpool Combat Club stablemate Bryan Danielson who would make his way to the final, reversing Jericho's figure 4 leg lock, turning it into the label lock for the submission victory in just shy of 20 minutes. After the match, Jon Moxley would confront the American Dragon with a stare down taking place, this whilst an anxious looking William Regal looked on. The final would take place next week at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, the company's biggest television show of the year, with it set to take place inside the Arthur Ashe Stadium in Queens, New York. But who do you think leads Grand Slam as the AEW World Champion? Will it be Danielson, Moxley, or maybe even a cash-in by MJF? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next up, a talented luchador has made their AEW debut. Before Dynamite last night, AEW would tape next week's episode of Dark Elevation, where Mascara Dorada would make his first All Elite Wrestling appearance. At the show, the man with the golden mask would battle another masked man, Serpentico, in his AEW debut match. Dorada has been a free agent ever since his WWE release back on November 4th, 2021, where he worked under the name of Gran Metalik. He was cut just over a month after requesting his release from his contract in September. Since then, he's worked for GCW, Impact Wrestling, and several other independent promotions in the United States, with him now adding AEW to that list. Before his time in WWE, he would make a name for himself in CMLL down in Mexico, whilst also appearing in New Japan Pro Wrestling via their working agreement. He is a 17-year veteran at this point and is arguably one of the best luchadors in the world, and let's hope he's given a solid platform in AEW to show off what he can do. It's unclear if he's signed a contract with the promotion, with no hashtag All Elite graphic being released as of this recording. And next, Velveteen Dream has responded to a recent bathroom accusation. In the last month, Patrick Clark, better known as Velveteen Dream in WWE, has made headlines following 3 arrests, 2 of which happened last month in August, with charges of possession of cocaine, violation of a 12-month probation, battery, and trespassing being amongst the many charges across the 3 arrests. This would then lead to one of the most bizarre stories in wrestling arising, this following an interview with his former NXT colleague EC3. According to EC3, Dream would attend his house party before he left his phone in the bathroom to capture people going about their business. Well, Dream, who has now been released from Seminole County Jail, would respond to the accusation, flat out denying it. Clark would post a video to his Instagram account where he would reveal that while he was helping his father on his PC, he would search WWE, which is when he saw the EC3 accusation. He would then say that he has already proved his innocence, so let's hear what he had to say.
I'm not going to tell people who was at this party out of respect for our mutual friends, but one of our mutual friends is a former NXT talent that no longer works for the WWE, and the other person is a current Monday Night Raw talent who used to wrestle talent for NXT. I'm tired of people throwing dirt on my name. You throw this dirt on my name saying that I tried to record you in your bathroom. Let's be honest, Mike. You're leaving out a lot of details. What were we doing that night, Mike? What type of powder was on the table, Mike? Okay, let's be real. So let's not leave out all the details. We were all drunk. You were pissy drunk because you were in your place. You were damn near passed out in the corner. You and your homegirl, whichever chick you were screwing at the time. And the other 2 people, our mutual friends, were there. I left my phone on your bathroom counter. And because you were not sure of my sexuality at the time because of the character I played on TV and because we're not friends in real life at all, you try to accuse me of recording you in your own home. So what did I do? I went to our mutual friend who no longer works for the WWE, former NXT talent, and I showed him my phone and had him go through my photos and videos and my recently deleted just to prove to you and the other person that was there, who, because I respect him and he has a job, okay, I'm not going to put him out there, I had him prove to you that I was not recording you. Cocaine is a hell of a drug, EC3. Get your shit together.
EC3 has yet to respond to Dream's defense, although this likely won't be the last we hear of the story. As for an update on Clark's legal case, court records indicate that payments were made on September 13th in relation to Clark's recent arrests, which seems to have resulted in his release from jail. He is now scheduled for arraignment on September 19th, where he answers to his charges in front of a judge. And next, a top AEW star has opened up about the post-All Out backstage fight. After the AEW All Out pay-per-view, a fight would break out backstage involving AEW EVPs Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, as well as CM Punk and Ace Steel, with all involved being suspended. This would also lead to the AEW World and Trios titles being vacated as a result. This week, AEW Grand Slam tournament finalist Bryan Danielson would speak with Sports Illustrated, where he was asked about the All Out melee between the Elite and CM Punk. With the AEW World title being taken away from Punk in the aftermath, Danielson feels the incident has created an opportunity for other names to step up to the plate, and rather than going into the details of the fight itself, he would issue a polite no comment before going into the solution to the problem, and he would say, "Tony made a statement last week on Dynamite. I hate to say, oh, this is what happened when I wasn't in the room. I tend to focus on what I can control and focus on the opportunities that present themselves whenever there is any type of disruption, whether it is something like this or even something, for example, like the pandemic. Wrestling in front of nobody was a real opportunity to hone my craft. It became what William Regal likes to call close-up magic. We didn't have the crowd or anything like that, and I learned so much about myself and what worked from a wrestling standpoint. It was no longer theatre, it became cinema. There were things you could do there that you couldn't do in front of a live crowd. It was a lot of fun mentally to try to figure that out. This is an opportunity to create more excitement. I'm pretty pumped about the title tournament. It just lends gravity to all these matches. I'm really excited." Danielson has certainly seized the opportunity, now finding himself in a position to become the next AEW World Champion, with him set to take on Blackpool Combat Club teammate Jon Moxley next week at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. If he walks away victorious, he will win his first ever AEW Championship, with him seemingly the fan favourite to walk away with the title belt. Next up is a former WWE superstar set to retire. Earlier in the video, we would discuss the AEW debut of former Lucha House Party member Gran Metalik. Well, it seems that another member of the old WWE stable could be on his way to retirement. Lince Dorado would take to Twitter today to reveal that whilst he will wrestle the rest of his scheduled dates in 2022, he will not be taking bookings beyond that, and he would tweet, "I will fulfill the rest of the dates I have for 2022. I am no longer accepting dates for 2023. Thank you." Whilst he hasn't formally announced his retirement, the 35-year-old's post certainly hints at it, unless he is simply planning on taking some time away from the sport. Lince has wrestled since 2007, rising up the ranks in Shikara before joining WWE as part of the Cruiserweight Classic, later signing a contract in 2016. He would become a regular in the Cruiserweight division before his eventual release on November 4th last year, alongside the likes of Gran Metalik, Karrion Kross, and Nia Jax. Since then, he's worked shows for Warrior Wrestling, CMLL, and MLW, as well as many more promotions, with him working regularly ever since. With that said, his future in wrestling is now up in the air. And before we get into our final story, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you drop a like down below, as it helps me out a lot, and make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the latest wrestling news. Oh, and we've got a TikTok now, so if that's your thing, make sure you head over there and give us a follow for some exclusive short form content. And next, Kenny Omega has been removed from an AEW event. Following his suspension from All Elite Wrestling after his involvement in the post-All Out backstage altercation, Kenny Omega is currently in Japan with AEW Games to promote the AEW Fight Forever video game at the Tokyo Game Show convention. Well, on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer would reveal that due to Omega's ongoing suspension, he is unable to be involved in the presentation, which is set for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Dave would say, Omega's in Japan right now, and it's interesting because the original trip was partially to promote the AEW video game because they've got the Tokyo Game Show. Because of his suspension, he's not going to be involved with the presentation of it there. There had been speculation that Omega was one of the names unsuspended yesterday, with it being reported that anyone involved in breaking up the backstage fight was no longer under suspension, including Brandon Cutler and Pat Buck. It was said that more names could be contacted about being unsuspended, which led to some to believe that this is why Omega headed to Japan with AEW Games, but this doesn't appear to be the case. Whilst in Japan, however, Omega has been confirmed to be a part of the upcoming Yakuza game produced by Sega, with images of him getting scanned into the game being released released on his Instagram account. New Japan Pro Wrestling stars Kazuchika Okada, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Tetsuya Naito, Hiroyoshi Tenzan, Satoshi Kojima, and Toru Yano were all part of the Yakuza 6 game in 2018, with the 8th installment of the action-adventure series set for release in 2024. And before you go, make sure you check out 10 things that you didn't know about AEW's Hook.